Yane, it's not me game with a Nigerian Christian perspective. And today I just want to continue the discussion we started in the last video about the existence of God. In the last video, we saw that the existence of God is not something that we just believe out of thin air, but it can be backed by logic. We discussed about intelligent design and the moral law. So I just want to continue because the question now is there are over 4,000 religions, and all of them make truth claims about the existence of God. So, the Muslims believe in God, Jews believe in God, Buddhists, Hindus, and many other religions. And when you check these religions, at the core, they make exclusive truth claims. My God is the true God. But all these different gods can't be the true God because the God the nature, the way that God presents himself in Christianity is different from the way that the God in Islam is presented. It's different from the way that the gods of the Hindus are presented. It's different from the way that the God of the Buddhists are presented. So, who is the true God? Now, the Christian God makes sense, and here's why. A lot of times, there's this saying that no one is actually born religious. The only reason why we adopt the religions we adopt is because we grew up within that framework because our parents were those religions. Yes, for the most part, it's true. But as we grow up, we also become more rational and we also analyze like what is the logic behind this, and we follow the belief that logically makes sense to us the best. So you hear a lot of, especially I notice celebrities, American celebrities these days, everybody coming up to explain how they were Roman Catholic growing up and they went to Roman Catholic schools, and now they are atheists and they are trying to bash the Christian religion as if all of a sudden they were, because they went to Roman Catholic schools, they became experts. It might interest you to know that Sanusi Lamido Sanusi went to a missionary school and he's still a very devout Muslim. So simply because you went to a Roman Catholic school, it does not qualify you as an expert in religion. Yeah. So, but to me, the Christian religion makes sense, and there is a way that John Lennox articulates it about the way we come to believe, and the tenets of the faith. And first of all, it's let's look at the person of Jesus Christ. The person of Jesus Christ is unique because when you go to Buddhism, you find out in many Buddhist traditions, or in some Buddhist traditions rather, they believe that Jesus was also a Buddha. He was one of the incarnations of Buddha. So there is the presence of Jesus in Buddhism. When you go to Islam, you find out in the Quran, while they don't believe that Jesus is God, they believe that he was a prophet like no other. They believe in the virgin birth. They even believe that there were attempts to crucify Jesus. When you go to the Jewish faith, Jews, they believe that Jesus was one of those messiahs that came, and because of that, he was what we call an accidental messiah. He wanted to cause trouble, and because of that, he was killed for his troubles. So you find out that there is the presence of Jesus in all these different faiths, even though what they believe about him are different. But you find out that he has a very special place in all these in all these different faiths. And you go to the Bible, and in the Bible he makes this exclusive claim, and we know from historical evidence that the Jesus of the New Testament is a historical figure. And then these different faiths also acknowledge the existence of this Jesus Christ. And then you go to the Bible and he makes the exclusive claim: I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So while these different religions, they have their different teachings, here Jesus is saying, I am the only way. So he is excluding every other means to the Father. So it makes sense that if in every other religion they have this idea of Jesus Christ, it reminds me only of Romans chapter 1 that says that since from the beginning the truth of God has been revealed, so that everyone is without excuse. So everyone has an idea about the figure of Jesus Christ, but they just don't want to admit, they don't want to accept his godhood. So, but for the Christian faith, Jesus Christ makes this claim, and it is only in the Christian faith that this exclusive claim is made. Now, the second thing that makes Christianity make sense is that the way to salvation. Now, John Lennox gives this it's funny, but it's very good example. He says, imagine he was going to marry his wife, and then he will give her a cookbook, and for example, he will call a page number, say, okay, go to page 302, study the recipe there, and when you've studied it and you are done studying it and you have practiced it, and over, say, the course of 30 years you have perfected it, then I will take you in as my wife. And it doesn't make sense, but and that is the approach that most other faiths have, and it's the reverse with Christianity. In Christianity, God looks at us, and he looks at our sins, but he says, come, even though you are heavy laden, come, I will give you rest. He looks at us with our imperfections, and he says, come. He said, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. So we do not come to God. God does not draw us in based on what we do, based on our merits. It is not like a school. You go to a school, when you go to a school, you write your exams. When you write your exams, after you have finished studying hard, you go through your 4 years, you fulfill your course requirements, and then you are given a degree. That is not how it works with Christianity. With Christianity, you are first accepted because of the work that Jesus Christ does. So, like Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9, we say, you have been saved by grace through faith, not of your works. It is the free gift of God, lest any man should boast. And it makes that Christian message unique. So, if there is a God that has created everything, and he looks at this thing and calls this thing beautiful, and then if there is a problem with this creation, it only makes sense that this God that is above us, that is all loving, will come into this creation and then save this creation that is not capable of saving itself. And that is where the finished work of God, Jesus Christ, becomes very important, because we do not see any other um, theistic truth claim where the whole work of salvation hinges on God, not on humanity. In every other religion, you have to work, you have to work your way, you have to struggle, you have to strive hard. But in Christianity, even when we are instructed to work out our salvation with fear and trembling, the next verse it adds, for it is God who is at work in us. So even when we are striving to become better people, it is still God that is at work in us. It is only in Christianity that God carries the sinner. God carries the sinner, and he draws him in, and as he draws him in, he sanctifies him. So as we struggle with in this race, it is not, we are not being rewarded by our merits. Okay, let me see. No, it is not. You are not weighing the good that this person does against the evil. It is solely based on believing in this eternal God who has given you salvation, so that you gain eternal life. That is the Christian message, and it makes sense. It resonates with me as someone who has struggled so much. And you see, today I'll try my best to live a righteous life, but then sometimes I fall. It resonates with me that if it is by my efforts, I know very well that I'm deserving of destruction. If it is by my actions, but it is by the actions of God, that I am assured of my salvation. And when I strive to live right, I'm not striving to live right so that I can get in God's good graces. I'm already in His good graces. I'm striving to live right as an appreciation, as an understanding of the magnitude of the work that this God has done in me, and that is why my faith makes sense. Like, there is a God who created the heavens and the earth, and then this God comes into humanity, takes on human form, and then saves me, a sinner who is sinful, and he takes me into his kingdom, into his eternity. I don't have to say, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Then after I finish doing this and this and that, when I get to heaven, the good deeds I do will be measured against the bad deeds I have done. And be reminded that even our thoughts, we can sin in our thoughts. So imagine all those sinful thoughts that we did not act out because of logic, because of decorum. Imagine them, those things that were just in our head being measured, and you think any of us would be able to survive? So that is why the Christian God makes sense to me. And you see, for example, when you go to Matthew chapter 20, verses 1 to 16, it tells about the story of the workers in the vineyards, how some came in the morning, some came in the afternoon, some came in the evening, and they still collected the same wages. It shows it's just an idea of how God calls people. He doesn't check, oh wow, this person has been so faithful to me, therefore let me invite him into my kingdom. That is not how God works. It is the reverse. We cannot first be faithful to God. God is first faithful to himself. And because he's faithful to himself, that faithfulness to himself is what gives us the key to salvation. So that if you believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord, and you confess with your mouth that he was raised from the dead, you are saved. Wait, it's like if I got that verse wrong, please correct me in the comment section. But please let me hear your interactions. If you notice, I'm still growing, so I follow every single comment. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Please support the channel, and I'll see you next time. Remember, what do I know?